Hello, collective. Welcome back to my channel. This is Divine Ike Misty Tarot, back with another general reading for my beautiful and handsome collective. Mwah, 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 mwah. Hugs and kisses to you. Hopefully, you all are doing extremely, extraordinarily well. We're gonna go ahead and get a message out. Overall, hopefully, the message resonates with you. It's helpful in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Thank you all so much for your support of my channel. Also, my Intuitive Tarot channel as well. If you have not checked that out, make sure you do. I'll leave it in the description box below. Um, Also, when it comes to a personal reading, or if you have a personal question you would like to get some clarity on, make sure you email me for that information and pricing. All right. Also, this could be past, present, or future energy. This could be clarity or validation for others of you. Gender is also fluid. So if I'm talking about a he, I could also be talking about a she. Okay. So do keep that in mind. This could be a same-sex situation as well. All right. But yeah, let's see what that we're gonna go with. Let me just pull a few cards and see what's going on in the energy. All right. Three cards on this reading. Show me what I need to see. Holy Spirit, Holy Angels. Surround me in the brightest light, God, in the love of protection, guide me, clean. The blood of the Son, Lord Jesus, Father God. Allow me to see what I need to see. Hear what I need to hear. Say what I need to say. All right. Receptionist is your first card. Whoever this reading resonates with could be a receptionist, or a receptionist could be significant. Not keeping up their end of this love spell has awakened them. So somebody has did some type of love spell on somebody's child, and them not keeping up with their part on their end. They may not have kept up like with the amount of time, that they have to work with, before they have to redo this. If they see it wearing off or something like that, or they may not have the finances, to do this, or they don't have the um what they need to keep something like this going, whatever this love spell is, and stop playing in this bullshit. Okay? Too many people, so many people have already lost their life, whether it's on the live, whether it's, something that you hear about, that people that are normally, going live is, going through. Some of that shit is playing out in people's face. Stop doing this bullshit. Okay? Because whatever this is, that it got somebody doing this, it's giving like, not sacrificing animals or some type of offering or payment for this spirit. So whatever it is that they were supposed to do, whatever they were supposed to offer up, whatever they were supposed to do in a timely fashion in order for this to, continue on the way they expecting it to be, like they have not kept up with that amount of time. They've had so much time to do something to present an offering and they haven't. Whatever the case may be, maybe they haven't came into, thinking that whatever the sacrifice is, whatever the offering is significant, but it is. It is, and it's wearing off, and it's causing somebody to awaken because they have not they haven't followed out the whole entire thing to its entirety. All right. Um, yeah, and it could be some paranormal activity going on from them doing this too late in the game, like too late in the process. Whoever this entity is spirit is they called on to do this, like they have not offered something up to this spirit, this entity in a time and fashion. Next card, living without you feels like death. Like somebody can't even imagine. Like somebody living without you is making them feel as though life is over. Like life as they know it is not worth living. It's not something they feel like, being faced with every day. And living without you is something that this person knows that is going to be hard. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be uh, a huge regret on their part that they have to do this. But it feels like, this is the end. Like it feels like, what it would feel like if had that last moment, if had only so many days left in this on this earthly plane. Like that's how somebody feel. Like they feel like living without you is like death. Like you know what I'm saying? Like anything else. And this person may not have known how long, it's been that they've been under somebody's, influence or control in this way, when it comes to free will. Somebody denying they envious. Somebody's envious. And they could be this way, and they may have done this to this person because of envy. They may have done this to this person because they wanted, something that they felt like, this person wouldn't genuinely give them. But it came out in reverse. You gotta tell the truth. They wanted to come out in reverse. Like somebody, could be refusing to be honest with themselves, be honest about, what's going on with them or why they feel, the way they do. Like where is this coming from? Somebody could be territorial too. Envious. Let's see what's going on here. Show me this person that's not keeping up their end of this love spell. This awakening someone. Who is this not keeping up their end of this love spell? You got 9 of Swords in reverse with the 10 of Swords. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. At this point, could be a Gemini with the 9 of Swords in reverse. Somebody is dealing with some type of release, like, what I'm saying, they could be gaining clarity about something now because they're awakening with this 9 of Swords in reverse. Like I said, this person awakening could, be them seeing how, a cycle has ended or whatever it is that, has been broken. This cycle doesn't end it between this person, like, I can't make it up. You got the 10 of Swords at the bottom of the deck to the Emperor, to the 5 of Pentacles, to the 2 of Cups. Child. It's like somebody awakened, going through this awakening, and they ended something, or they see something has ended, and they ended something, and it's like somebody standing in their power, like going toward, where it was they left somebody out in the cold. Five of Pentacles. They're leaving somebody out in the cold, whoever this Emperor is, to go toward this unified union. Two of Cups. They could not be accepting anybody's offers. They could be rejecting offers right now because of what they, awakening to. They could be wanting to come towards you with some type of confession. Seven of Swords. That's just at the bottom of the deck. I can end it here. But at the same time, this is somebody that, is possibly awakening, sooner than later because of this, love spell wearing off. This person would not have awakened if this person was to keep up their end of the bargain on what they were supposed to do. Clarify the Nine of Swords in reverse. Somebody is out of the, they releasing like whatever this communication that hasn't been had. It's like somebody's getting clarity at that same time. Like somebody, you not talking to somebody, no contact, no communication at all, or nothing like that. This person, they still are going through what they're going through, and it's causing this person to shed some layers. Like it's causing them to, look at whatever it was that was said or whatever this person was talking like that at the time they may not have been aware of like what that was about. Like they may not have known, that's what that person, intentions were, or what they conversations or they words, actually was leaning toward. Because like now somebody's releasing like whatever that anxiety is, whatever that was that they, were going through at a time when you maybe had blocked them or something like that, wherever their mindset was at the time. Because somebody had them under some type of, spell. Like they had them, at a time where they may have been vulnerable, you know what I'm saying, to the wrong person, a lot of different people, and mixing them with energies that they was not aware of, like what these people into, or how desperate somebody can be when they envious. Clarify the Nine of Swords in reverse. But this cycle done closed out. Like they closing out a cycle for somebody now. Ten of Swords. What's the Nine of Swords in reverse? Show me this person that did this love spell. Show me this person that did this love spell. How did they do this love spell? Who is this that did this love spell on this person? Who is this that did this love spell? Why did they do this? Yeah, you got the Hangman in reverse with the World. Two of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Somebody wanted some type of, offer, or they wanted some type of partnership or some type of connection to happen. But this is somebody that could have, looked at somebody as fulfillment. Could be a Leo, could be a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio with this Hangman in reverse. But I feel like this got something to do with possibly somebody that was not looking at something being balanced out naturally. I feel like somebody, wanted to be, and I feel like this happened to somebody, like I said, because they were being arrogant. They may have been somebody that, was being besides themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody may have been full of themselves. They could have been getting around, moving around, like I said, with different people. And it's like somebody ended up coming across somebody that was like that was territorial. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody that's, like to use manipulation to keep somebody. Maybe they so used to people coming in and leaving out. And this is one of the moments where somebody may have gotten to that point of not wanting that to happen, like, trying to keep somebody around that doesn't want to be with just one person, or they have somebody else in mind, but they, exploring their options, but they got somebody in the back of their mind they really want, is what I'm getting. But it's like somebody, was being selfish and, what I'm saying, very reckless about how they saw themselves and how they were using themselves as a pawn in a situation that somebody took advantage of. I feel like somebody was using, if they were using their wand to get what they want, if they were using their body to get what they want, somebody took advantage of them doing that to keep them around too. And this is somebody that don't look at, people that have a spiritual calling. This is somebody, that, is not, and they could have been somebody in stagnation as well, whoever this Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio is. Like somebody could have been, in stagnation with you. You know what I'm saying? They could have been stagnant about moving forward, taking action, thinking, from their higher self. This is somebody that, may be used to, doing things in a low vibrational, kind of way, because they don't want to sacrifice something. They don't want to, let something go, let an old version of themselves die in order to, acquire a new version of themselves. You know what I'm saying? To see how something would actually turn out. But it's like somebody feared, if they changed, who they would end up with, how they saw themselves. You know what I'm saying? But with the world, it's like somebody knew that they saw that person as fulfillment. Like they seen this person as somebody that they wanted, to be with. And I feel like, at that point, it's like somebody thinking that that was the way to keep that person around, was to manipulate, their free will as to, where they went and how far they went, with the world. Somebody could be dealing with an earth sign, could have fire in their chart. Or a fire sign could have earth in their chart. Because you got air, you got earth out here, and you got water. But this is about, a connection. What's the world? What's the world? Clarify the world. This is like somebody definitely like having anxiety about, how they saw things, especially if they can't control it. And this is somebody that needs to know how the outcome would go based on how they put it together. If the universe is not doing it for them and God don't do it, it just won't get done. And it's like somebody taking something into their own hands because they don't want to wait on God. This is somebody that has an issue. I would say a God complex, but they definitely have an issue with being aware of spiritual law. What's the world? Clarify the world. Somebody could have traveled, and went to somebody and, tried to get this love spell done. But I feel like somebody was supposed to finish out, what they started doing, and they didn't do that. And I feel like somebody was, doing this towards somebody at the time that was possibly being arrogant. You know what I'm saying? Somebody could have been, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio could have been stagnant with this Gemini. Like they could have been, take it how it resonates. Just take the signs out of it. It's like somebody may have not liked the fact that somebody kept them on the fence, with a possibility, the possibility. Like somebody wanted to be in that pick me energy, or they wanted to be for sure that this person, was going to come towards them, especially if they had invested enough time or enough of themselves into this person, with this person. What's the world? Yeah, judgment. Libra energy. Yeah, somebody is. This is like, somebody reflecting on things now. Like they looking at they inner, going toward their inner calling, or this is somebody definitely like looking at something in fairness, like being made aware of like exactly like what they issues were, like what was going on. Because I feel like somebody did not know at the time, like how reckless, they decision making or their actions were, or the way they thought, or the way somebody they was involved with was thinking. You know how some people like, somebody being a fighter for them, somebody that will check somebody about them, but when it comes to that person that wants you to do that, there's no telling how they would react when it comes to somebody coming for their property, coming for their lover or their job, something they really care about. When it comes to that person that wants you to chase them, the chasers sometimes, don't handle, situations that they care about that will, either. Now they normally used to people fighting about them, and this could be a situation where they may have been used to people fighting about them, but when it comes to them fighting about somebody else, it may take a lot. It may not take very much. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how they want to, present themselves or how they want to be seen. So they may put on the front, and what I'm saying, depending on how they feel about the person. But if they don't really care too much about that person, they just using them as a flex. They ain't finna engage nobody in no, no fuckery. You know what I'm saying? To like show up and show out for that person. They more or less a back off. Now the person they flexing, being with that person and flexing, with them for, or whoever they with this person, however they, just take it how it resonates. However somebody got with someone, whatever the flex was about, or whatever, this person insecurities was about, the person that did the love spell on them was more of somebody that did not like competition. This is somebody that doesn't, like divine unions. They don't like people that are able to manifest, you know what I'm saying, what they want, not just in love, but the things they really feel like they desire, you know what I'm saying, and they get it, and it comes, into fruition. But it's like somebody traveled, because they wanted to get this fulfillment for themselves. They wanted to be able to get the full scope of like what it would be like to be with somebody that, want to be with you, and they just, but if somebody already promiscuous, they already leaving their options open, doing love spells on this person is only going to amplify how they are, towards, you when it comes to you wanting them to be, just head over heels for you. That person can be head over heels for you so much that, like they said, I love you to death. You don't want somebody to do that. You know what I'm saying? And some people so desperate for love, so desperate for somebody to stay, that they don't realize the person that's trying so hard to get them to stay. Some people look at it like, man, they doing it, man, they'll do anything. They'll do anything to keep me from leaving. Some people think that's something to brag about until that person is willing to take you out and them too. To make sure that you don't, embarrass them or ruin their efforts of like keeping you around. You know what I'm saying? So folks don't want to be showed up as, damn, you can't keep a man, or damn, you can't keep a woman. So if they love spell wear off like it's doing, it's making them panic as to what they can do to keep this person from seeing the person they knew this person was interested in, or they know this person had other, involvements with people. But it's affecting how they handle this person not seeing them the way they used to. And that person's true feelings actually, surfacing. And that's what, somebody under judgment. Now, you may have called judgment on this person. But there's a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This Gemini, they could be under judgment. Like you may have called judgment on this person just because this person, is manipulating possibly a soul contract, a divine contract. What's the world with the judgment? What's the world with the judgment. Clarifying. Yeah, Two of Swords told you it's a third party. With the Three of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. 32 could be of significance. Like somebody ain't saying, it's not, because like I said, that card about telling the truth or whatever, it wanted to come out, but it's like somebody don't want to be honest. Like somebody don't want to tell the truth of like what is really going on, or like what's not being said. Like somebody could be at a crossroads, and they could be, just looking at how, they feel stagnant, you know what I'm saying, or at a stalemate because of their bad choices. Like this person could have been, at a stalemate with you, because of them, making a lot of bad choices that may have put them in a cycle with somebody, or in a yeah, it put them in a cycle with somebody that actually had something that they needed to learn something from. And this is a lesson learned for somebody. I feel like somebody's going to, for the first time, probably experience, being under a love, so they may not even know about how this works. And that's why a lot of times people end up being so irate and so, what we see is dramatic and, belligerent even, just pissed off because somebody, the effect that it had on them, and they had no control over it, and they thought they were, especially when the illusion breaks that, you haven't been in control of your body, your mind for a while. And that alone will piss somebody off, that you went out of your way, or you partnered or collaborated with somebody. Because at the bottom of the deck, you got the Three of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles in reverse. Six of Swords in reverse. Three of Swords in reverse. So, like, somebody, definitely traveled with the world. This could be somebody that, was looking for fulfillment, in where they were going, like in direction with their intentions, where they wanted, somebody to like make them, they final, make that person that, they final decision, they final choice. But somebody is under judgment, for manipulating somebody's free will. And hiding that information, and keeping someone at a stalemate, being in this crossroad. But I feel like somebody's also under judgment for not using their intuition as well, and not being aware of like the red flags. But they under judgment now for that awareness that they were ignoring. But they being made aware, you know what I'm saying, of exactly what they under judgment for. Clarify, living without you feels like death. Living without you feels like death. Clarify. Yeah, you got the Three of Wands. Got the Chariot at the bottom of the deck. Forward movement. Somebody actually, possibly want to come towards you. But, this is like a lesson learned for somebody with this Three of Swords. Leo energy, Aries, Leo Sage. Like somebody's finding that direction now. Like they, having to have that confidence, you know what I'm saying, and trust their foresight. Like I said, they know now, you were a lesson learned. They learned, they listen. Like this is somebody that feels as though like they see it now. Like I see what it is I wasn't seeing before. Like somebody mind's eye was probably blocked, was compromised. But you got the Chariot at the bottom of the deck with the Emperor. And it's like now they want to move forward, possibly, work on their self-control, deal with the challenges they know they possibly are going to be faced with, with moving forward, even if it ain't with you. Clarify the Three of Wands. Like this is, them having a child, Ten of Cups. With the Seven of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Like, Like they learn their lesson. Like somebody, see, what it is that they, having to do, or what, it is, to have something, solid, something stable, something that is in harmony, like good vibes, you know what I'm saying? Good connections, good, you know what I'm saying? A balanced, foundation where you have, everything is in harmony. I mean, you're going to have your issues, but somebody had options, you know what I'm saying? And you got the Seven of Cups, you got the Knight, the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, Seven of Swords in reverse with the Hierophant. So, like, they know that they, had options. They know they had other distractions. They know that, you got suitors as well. Um, they see you to be somebody, that is you know what I'm saying, a multitasker. You know what I'm saying? Introvert. And they could have been dealing with, you could have been dealing with an extrovert. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that gets out, they always, I would say the nightlife, but they somebody that, is always in the public eye. You know what I'm saying? They always out and about doing something, and you may be a homebody, you know what I'm saying? You may work from home, you could be a homemaker. You could do both. But somebody was using, you know what I'm saying, like somebody was using their gifts for dark, you know what I'm saying? Like they were, not able to manifest in whatever they were, wanting, to have for themselves, like this Ten of Cups. It was impossible, with them actually having all these other options and being confused about what direction to go in. And, just wishful thinking, you know what I'm saying? This person, you now, searching for their purpose and looking for it in different places. Looking for love in all the wrong places, been around, seen a lot of pretty faces. I know that I'm the one for you. Yeah, somebody saying on the line they want to do is in the bed with you. But that's something they're going to be missing. Somebody trying to act like they're not spying and shit with the spine on top of my makeshift deck in reverse. Somebody trying to act like they're not spying, child. Living without you feels like death. Tell about the Three of Wands with the Ten of Cups. You got Aries out here with Pisces. What's the Three of Wands with the Ten of Cups? Living without you feels like death. Yeah. Got the King of Cups with the Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck in reverse. And this is, them wanting to support and be kind and, you know what I'm saying, be this, this open book to you now, and be in this way. It's like this could have this person in tears. You got, like I said, the Ace of Cups in reverse, Eight of Pentacles in reverse, the Four of Wands, Knight of Cups in reverse. Yeah. Could have been a lot of deceit, you know what I'm saying, that led them to ending up with somebody that did some type of love spell on them. And it's like, they may have felt like, they were with the right person at the time until this shit wore off and they awakened. Because now, it's like somebody, emotionally, they crown, was compromised. Somebody did some type of, you know what I'm saying, caused a lot of illusions, you know what I'm saying, for this person. So they wasn't getting clear messages. They weren't, listening to the signs, to the synchronicities, that was being shown to them. But this is like the ending, of a relationship, especially when it comes to, them not being with the person that did this love spell on them, but it's not giving them the opportunity or the comfort of knowing that they can come back around to you, especially if they have not ascended, if they have not gotten in alignment with you. Yeah. Like somebody, ended up getting, they did some crown magic on their ass, and like they manipulated how they saw, love and what they, knew to be love at the time, as far as who they were dealing with and who actually really was not wearing a mask. And I feel like they were with somebody that was, but they had a whole lot of other things going on, a hidden agenda, but them not listening to their intuition and letting their ego, their pride, or, the way this person came and presented themselves to them, like letting that be a distraction for them. I feel like somebody was easily manipulated because of their weakness. Why is envious in reverse? Gotta have that, that chariot is, giving like forward movement, but it's definitely giving somebody like they need to work on their self-control. Somebody thought they were controlling the situation that they were in, but they were being controlled until they awakened and realized just how far something done got. You know what I'm saying? Done got out of hand. Why is envious in reverse? Why is envious in reverse? Somebody don't like the fact that your communication, your truth telling, your connection to the divine, the fact that you can get the clarity, that you got the truth, that you made the decision. Somebody's envious of the fact that somebody made a decision. Or they envious of the fact that you, got the truth, got some clarity. You know what I'm saying? You got the Six of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck in reverse, Five of Wands, the Justice in reverse, Five of Swords in reverse. Clarify the Ace of Swords. You got the Seven of Wands. Aries, Leo, Sag. Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Somebody sees you as somebody very strong-willed. Somebody don't like your strength. They don't like your resilience. They don't like, they envious of, how well you communicate with the divine, how well you communicate with people. They don't like the fact that you're a truth teller, is what I'm getting. They don't like the fact that you are somebody that is a seer. You connected to the divine. You could be in a divine contract as well. They don't like your resilience. Somebody don't like, your strong will. Like you come off as defensive. You can get through whatever it is somebody throw at you. And I feel like somebody don't like, that you can do without the bullshit. You can do without them, and still live a happy life. You know what I'm saying? And still move forward. And that's an envious, trait. Somebody's envious over the fact that you have that ability to do that. Got the Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck with the Eight of Swords. Page of Swords. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So yeah, somebody feels as though, this is, could be somebody that you got kids with, could be somebody that, is, thinking back on the past with you, that could be having some nostalgia. This could be a past person somebody went back to, from their childhood, or somebody that got some history with, could have kids with this person. That whoever this is envious, or they were in the past. They could be envious, of, how you are. And I feel like somebody may have, out of a flex or just being arrogant, getting off and getting involved with somebody else, going towards somebody else, giving somebody else an offer, despite the one that they know they had with you, or the connection and the unified connection that you and them had, they still went in another direction, or they decided that another direction instead of working on them was better. And realizing, them not working on themselves got them in this situation, and maybe even lost, the one person that, was worth the effort. But instead, somebody done played their ass, with a love spell, and now they sitting over here with a lot of wasted time, with this person that they not going to be able to get back. Because they're coming off as somebody very kind and nurturing. Very compassionate. They could be, empath too, but I feel like, that's something that they have not, trusted in a while, their feelings and a um, truth, that lies in your gut, when you make a decision, whether it's, at the spur of the moment or something that you have to, modulate about. But what's this 7 of Wands? But they envious. They were envious of how strong willed you are. The fact that you told the truth, like you speak truth. I'm telling you, somebody envious of this damn divine union. I'm telling you, bruh, I can't make this shit up. Like somebody don't like that shit. They don't like that, um, even if it comes down to you, just being a person that, loves yourself and loves the fact, you know what I'm saying, that you can move on, that you can, still do that in love, that you can let somebody go in love. You know what I'm saying? No hard feelings, no hate, no nothing like that. But somebody doesn't like the fact that you are, that somebody's getting the truth. They got this clarity. They went through some type of emotional growth, spiritual growth. You know what I'm saying? And very strong will. But this is what puts you in place and in the alignment that you are in for this divine union. I'm just saying. Like somebody feels like, the ascension that you got or that doesn't happen or it hadn't happened for them. Like they feel like, giving up, or they did. Because they want to come in and follow their dreams. They may have felt like, whatever it was that they could have did then, you would just, yeah. Somebody was being stubborn. They may have felt like giving up. They could, have felt like this, in the past because they were envious. Like somebody did not, like the fact that they, you had some type of effect on somebody, and that they didn't do this love spell, it would not have bought them any time with this person. That this person would have been came back around to you and made something right, or you would have been made something right with somebody else if this person had manipulated free will. But at the same time, somebody too strong will, for something like that to be effective on you, or what I'm saying, vice versa. So at this point, it's like somebody don't like the fact that you, are in a divine union. Like you somebody that, is in alignment and very strong willed and, focused. Got the 9 of Wands in reverse at the bottom of the deck with the death in the upright. So somebody's like, may have been feeling stubborn at the time, wanting to give up, just knowing that there was a lack of trust there. You know what I'm saying? They may not have felt like they could trust you. That you were, not going to do them like somebody else or some shit like that. Or maybe you didn't feel, as though you could trust this person. But I feel like, there's a moment in time where somebody did not have the best, confidence, about themselves when they needed it. And it caused them to make a lot of bad choices. So, it could be a lot of defensiveness, when it comes to them wanting to come towards you, when it comes to them, lowering their guard or you lowering yours. Because it's got, a lot to do with that. Like you could have your guard up with this person. And I feel like at some point, that person envied you at one time because of those things about you, but they became things that they love about you. But I feel like when somebody was envious of something, it was because, they were not looking at something that way of like, that's my person. Why am I feeling like that toward my person? If, this person had awakened at a time where, you were aware of who they were, and they were aware of who you were at that time, like that you and this person may not have parted, you may not have went through these things, but you will have to go through some things to get the lesson 3 of Wands in order to come back together. There's something that has to end a cycle out, and sometimes it can be very traumatizing for some people, but that's the trauma that needs to happen to awaken you. You know what I'm saying? Some people have a near-death experience, or a train collision could be an issue. Somebody train could be collided. But anyway, a train, you could have an incident on a train and it comes off the track, and a few people happen to, get some injuries, but nobody passes. You know what I'm saying? But that moment would be so traumatizing for everybody involved that nobody's the same from that day on. Like nobody thinks the same, nobody moves and makes decisions the same anymore because of this. Sometimes traumatizing things have to happen in order for the lesson to occur. You're not gonna be able to, jump timelines, if there's a lesson to be learned. You know what I'm saying? So you got spine out here in reverse. So somebody, you know what I'm saying, may have been, still watching you. You got empath right behind that on the makeshift deck at the top. This is next one. Feeling burdened over the outcome of some court case. So like I said, somebody under judgment. It could be in spiritual court because they, were ignoring warnings, red flags, you know what I'm saying, signs, you know what I'm saying, them actually, swallowing their pride and not letting, their ego and their pride, cause them to miss or overlook, you know what I'm saying, what that could cause them. And I feel like they landed themselves in a connection or, ended up doing this on somebody that is not willing to just let go fairly. You know what I'm saying? And because they didn't pay up like they should have, this person now, is walking in the dark, you know what I'm saying, with this Two of Swords, because they don't want to explain or be honest about why something is going on with them, like what's really happening with them. Like somebody trying to keep somebody in the dark, about this activity, like, you know what I'm saying, what's being said, or what they saying they hear, or what they done said, you know what I'm saying, and chanted, or, done spoke up or spoke on. And yeah, they hiding, whoever this entity is they communicating with when they doing this love spell. But they travel to get this done, or they, contacted somebody, from a distance. But I feel like, somebody's being made aware, like they could be being shown this in their dream state. Like whoever this person is they sleeping next to, being involved with, they could be getting shown some things, that's giving them that clarity they need to, be mindful of the person that they sleeping with their op. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna end it here. Collective, you guys, make sure you do something nice for someone today, even if you don't know them. Hopefully the reading resonates with you and or it's helpful in some way. Somebody could be a receptionist. Could be significant too. But make sure you hit that like, that subscribe button on your way out. Until next time, those of you that genuinely love me, mwah, know that I love you too. Bye.